Hey everybody, it's Gary Lucas. It's Thursday, Feb, what is it, 24th, 25th, Caroline?
25th.
25th, yeah. Well, I just got off watching a fantastic Zoom discussion, actually a talk by two young scholars of Wyndham Lewis's art. And I have people who know my work, know I've been very much an aficionado and an advocate of Lewis's writings as well as his painting. He was an extremely gifted painter and a very stimulating, provocative writer. Not very well known today, and certainly not being taught in any sort of canon anywhere, at least in the vicinity of Yale University when I attended there. And it was only through the auspices of a good friend of mine, Francis McCarthy, that I first ran across Lewis's work and became hooked right after I moved to New York. In fact, in about 1977, I scoured all of the, there was a whole strip of used and rare bookstores around 3rd Avenue and 16th, 17th, 18th Street. There's still one or two left, holdouts. But anyway, that's another story. Anyway, the Wyndham Lewis Society had a talk, and if I had known really, or if I'd had the foresight, I would have plugged it. I'm not sure, though, anybody could have just attended it. It was a Zoom talk with two really knowledgeable young female scholars, which gave me hope that there is a younger generation of people who are passionate about this guy's work. And it concerned a great discovery that they'd made about a painting Lewis did of his former girlfriend, Iris Berry, who, if you know your film scholarship, especially concerning the London-New York axis, you know Iris Berry was the first curator of film at the Museum of Modern Art here in New York. She got this plum job after expatting here, and but she was familiar with all sorts of big figures on the London scene at the time, including H.G. Wells. Anyway, if I have a chance, I'll post it. I don't think there's a link to it, but they're going to publish some pieces about this in the future because they did make a great discovery that under the surface of this beautiful canvas, which I've seen in galleries exhibited on the Lewis circuit, as it were, lies the work of actually another female painter that was painted over. Lewis had a circle of devotee artists who gathered around what was called the Rebel Art Center in the teens of the last century, and two outstanding Vorticist artists. He founded the movement known as Vorticism, were Jessica Dismore and Helen Saunders, who I think he was involved romantically with for a while. And anyway, under this canvas of a painting called Praxitella, which is of, again, one of his paramours, Iris Berry, who fathered a couple of kids. He fathered a couple of kids with her, is a painting by Helen Saunders. An inverted painting. They made some great discoveries by X-raying the canvas. Okay, so I've gone on long enough about it, but it's great. And if you're interested, do check out the Wyndham Lewis Society, because it's a rallying point and a fountainhead of information about someone who should be a lot better known in the history of ideas, history of art, history of literature. Okay, that originally was entitled A Wandering Minstrel Eye, and the eyes have it. Apologies to Gilbert and Sullivan. And then it was repurposed and retrofitted by my friends Eniko Zabo and Tony Dejo, who comprise, along with me, an ensemble known as Pearly Clouds. And it's on a record that we made in Budapest, about 3-4 years ago, Pearly Clouds, the eponymous Pearly Clouds album. And I really do love this album, and there's an example on my new 40-year retrospective, The Essential Gary Lucas, of one of our songs. And there's a beautiful video for the song, which is called On Two Roads, that you can see on YouTube. It's not the first song I've ever done with the title On Two Roads or Two Roads. There's a famous Chinese pop song from Shanghai of a similar title that I do with Fei Fei Yang. But they're both, it's apples and oranges, and anyway, you can't copyright a title. Very important music biz 101. Hence, I know that you too, who are great fans of Jeff Buckley's, have a song on one of their albums post knowledge of Jeff entitled Grace, which has, of course, nothing to do with the anthem I composed and wrote with Jeff Buckley. But there you go. I wonder what it does sound like that. I haven't yet downloaded it. I don't know if I will. But maybe it's available for free on Spotify. I know the service is good for something, I'm told. But there's something about the interface I find so... I can't really think of the word plastic, I suppose. It doesn't resonate with me as an older person here, in any sense. Aesthetically, maybe they need a redesign. Although I can't say any of the redesigns I've had to endure on Facebook, for instance, that's been redesigned to death, has it not, over, I don't know, I've been on there 10, 15 years. And every time they do a redesign, it gets worse, and there's less flexibility unless you really are in on the secrets, but they don't bother to tell you too much about them. It just appears one day, and you make the best of it. I think the images, though, of the photos you can post are bigger, at least on the screen, the ratio of image on my computer screen. Anyway, but who knows? Anyway, well. I'm here. Today was one of those days we had to attend to a friend's personal crises, which delayed me a little bit from seeing the entire talk today on the Praxitella discovery at the Wyndham Lewis Society Zoom meeting. But my gosh, it was just so great and a lot of fun. And I'm just impressed that there are young people who are picking up the torch, because Lewis, like Beefheart in a way, is pretty much the purview of experts, most of them elderly at this point. Once in a while, you'll see a younger person, express enthusiasm for Beefheart. I guess many hipsters, music hipsters, give him a lot of lip service, although even that was punctured by this guy, Mark Maron, on a podcast a few years ago, kind of took the wind out of the Beefheart sails there for a moment, as in, this stuff must be unlistenable garbage, but everybody pays it lip service. Well, I begged, one man's meat is another man's poison. One man's fish is another man's poisson. Here is the latest issue of Sight and Sound, courtesy of my dear friend Richard Porton, who is a preeminent film scholar who writes for Cineast magazine. Sight and Sound, the international film magazine, and this issue it's their end-of-year special, the 50 best films of 2020. I can't say I've even seen 50 new films this year, and I'm a film buff, but there's such a wealth of material living in plain sight in the past that needs to be investigated. So... I don't know, I don't recognize most of the titles of these films, nor do I know most of the current actors and actresses, my bad. But that I leave to my dear wife, Caroline, because that's her business. She needs to stay abreast of the teat, as it were. And so she avidly is investigating all the latest this and the latest that, film-wise, and finds it, stimulating, fun, but I don't know. My eyes glaze over it, but I was always a Johnny-come-lately on most popular manifestations. Not true, really, in pop music, though, I have to say, at least when I was growing up, because every day somebody was rewriting the book. There was some amazing new innovation and a great leap forward musically in a space of, I don't know, let's say from 1963 to about 67, 68. It was just an astonishing time. I don't think it's mere nostalgia that would make me remark on this. I think it's more like there was some sort of like speedy evolutionary process going on, maybe courtesy of psychedelics. This is one theory that's been espoused. I think there's something to that. But basically, there was an electrical current running in the zeitgeist, at least out here in the West. It took a while to penetrate to the East, but it did penetrate. And, I'm talking about, there was a Russian underground, for instance, in a repressive society such as the Soviet Union, and in its later manifestations, there were hardcore samizdat type people who circulated recordings. I mean, certainly the Czech Republic is a good example. There's some people, including Tom Stoppard, who's the subject of a new biography, who wrote a play about this very phenomenon, how, smuggled recordings from the West, beginning with jazz and on into things like the Rolling Stones and later on Pink Floyd, and certainly Frank Zappa and Captain Beefheart, fueled and energized nascent liberation movements, politically and otherwise. I mean, certainly politically, Václav Havel, who I had the privilege of meeting, who was a great man, a great playwright and poet, and the leader of the Czech Republic, once they threw over the yoke of Russian oppression there. Havel was a big fan of Beefhearts and Zappas, as were many Czech people, many intellectuals for sure. And he was accorded full honors, when he finally was invited to visit there, because people knew the words to all these early Mothers of Invention songs. And the same with Beefheart. When I met him, he asked if it was possible to arrange a meeting with Don, but Don was out of commission in a big way at that point, so I couldn't really midwife what would have been a historic encounter, I'm sure, with these two people. But anyway. I'm going to do a little tuning adjustment. And I do want to remind you, please, if you haven't been doing it recently, do visit the virtual tip jar. I mean, I love playing for everybody, and I know you're counting on the fact that I'll keep going, and by God I will, because I love to play, but just spare a thought, really, for the current situation, and everybody has been squeezed hard. But I guess it's things like Spotify that have made people accustomed to not paying for anything. So. Pretty good coffee. And a lot of sugar. Now, we run out of time, but let's take a short look over the neighborhood, right? Those jackhammers are gone, but they are glacial as far as completion of these buildings. I don't know what it is. A union thing, I would imagine. This other building, there's not much signs of life. The Billionaire Mansion. This place, the Hugh Jackman house. I don't know, they're like busy. They're watching me though, so I'm waving to see them. Anyway, I love to play for you guys. And I look forward to seeing you on Saturday. We'll do another 360-degree spin around. What can I tell you? Look, we still got the Christmas lights up. We're not taking them down. We like them. Okay, Hanukkah lights, whatever. Here they are. This is Lulu's favorite spot right now. Is like hanging out by my pedals. She's made a home for herself over there, seeing as I've taken up space with my Stratocaster in her little sleep pad. And she's found other spots for that. But I love that she's accommodated herself to the pedals, especially because one of the reasons I avoided getting a dog in here for many years was fear that the dog would chew through some wires or do something mischievous. But so far, so good. So I think she knows the drill. And you do too, so please do visit the virtual tip jar. I hate to belabor the point, but it would be so appreciated. And let's see what else. There's a whole shelf of Wyndham Lewis volumes over there, along with Minotaur. And some nice little replica guitars I was given as a gift in Mexico City the last time I played. The whole house is just a panopticon of fun. So anyway, I think I'll go and enjoy the rest of the afternoon. I hope you do too, wherever you are, if it's evening or whatnot. And I'll see you on Saturday at 3. Okay. A lot of fun, as always, to play for you. Love you guys.